Hello everyone who may come across this video. So I'm going to be briefly discussing Justin Bieber and the cultural appropriation discussion that's going around right now. And I don't want to focus too much on Justin Bieber as I don't really know too much about him. But the whole cultural appropriation thing, so he was a catalyst for the video, but I also want to talk about the cultural appropriation thing that I've been seeing for a few years now. Now, I get the sense that people feel like because a white person gets locks that's cultural appropriation. I don't agree with that ideal. I don't think that simply because a white person gets locks that they are trying to culturally appropriate. Reading the comments under not only under Justin Bieber's account, but just various people who have circulated it and given their own opinions on it, and people who have commented on their stuff, I get the sense that that's what it is. Because he has locks, it's cultural appropriation. Now, everybody wasn't against it. Some people like, hey, let him do what he wants to do or whatever. And so, but that's what I want to touch on, the whole cultural appropriation thing and what it is. Now, I do believe that cultural appropriation exists. It's a thing. But I feel like it's misplaced a lot of times. And I feel like if we want people to know what cultural appropriation really is, then we have to start applying it where it's really happening. Otherwise, it will just be white noise and nobody won't really listen to it because the meaning is going to be so watered down that nobody will, care or really want to intake the actual thing of what cultural appropriation is, right? So, and then I asked myself, okay, what exactly do people feel like, as us as people, like what do we feel like is the culture of Locs, right? Because culture is not just centuries ago culture. Culture is right now. Culture is happening right now. As of right now, the culture of what Locs is, it's drastically changed, right? From what it was in the 80s, even what it was in the early 2000s, right? So it's changed. People are looking at it different. So there's a different culture about it. But I get the sense that when I'm reading people's stuff, they feel like they're talking about the centuries ago culture, right? So if that's the case, then why aren't Locs like this embraced more by the culture, right? People who are so against cultural appropriation, yet these Locs are the most disliked, and they are the pinnacle. Like, they are I don't want to say the pinnacle because it makes me sound elitist. It's how they started off, right? That's what I'm trying to say. So, what culture are people trying to protect? Because these Locs still get bashed, wicks still get bashed. So, is people's idea of how Locs are culturally, or what Locs should culturally be, it's just a nice, twisted, neat Locs? Because people keep saying cultural appropriation, and I don't feel like we can keep calling out cultural appropriation. We don't like certain things about our own selves. Again, not saying that cultural appropriation is not a thing. It just should be called out when it actually exists. It shouldn't be applied everywhere. People don't even like having frizz on how their hair actually is. People don't want to go through certain stages of Locs. So if you don't like your own Locs, you don't like your own hair. So I don't understand how we're calling out cultural appropriation. If you bash one part of your culture, how is it cultural appropriation if someone simply has Locs? Listen, I don't care about white people having Locs. Like, it really doesn't move me one way or the other. I literally do not care. I feel like people have the right to wear their hair how the hell they want to wear their hair. I'm too focused on my own hair to worry about, if a white person has Locs or not. I think all Locs are beautiful, man. Everybody who has Locs has their own thing about them. So I don't feel like, hey, a white person has Locs, that's cultural appropriation. Listen, there are white people, and other non-black people who see Locs and they like them. They simply just like them. I don't see Justin Bieber. I don't think that, to take him specifically, I don't think that he's wearing Locs to try to gain some type of advantage over the people in his industry. it's not helping him any more in his career than it already was, than whatever his career was. So I don't understand how he's appropriating locks by simply just wearing locks. So you got that aspect of it. So I just wonder what people's idea of cultural appropriation is. Listen, people may come across my channel and they may feel like, hey, I don't really identify with him because, not because I'm culturally appropriating, but my idea of having locks is not their idea, right? Some people attach a lot of things to locks. Some people have locks because they say, hey, something tragic happened, or I want to walk in a certain faith, or be a part of a certain religion or tribe or group. I feel like there's a certain energy attached to locks. Like, people have all kinds of reasons, and that's fine. Me personally, I simply have them because that's what I like. I saw somebody with locks a long time ago, or a group of people, a couple people, and I was like, yo, man, I was mesmerized by that. It was dope. And I said, one day I want that. There's no deeper meaning behind it. There's no spirituality behind it. I don't believe in a lot of things pertaining to locks. You feel what I'm saying? So I think that, and I say all that to say that we all have our reasons for wanting locks, and it doesn't have to, I didn't go look into the culture and the history and all of that stuff behind locks before I went and got them. I just say that's what I wanted. Now, I found out historical things along the way, and it was like, hey man, that's cool to know, but it's not the premise of why I had my locks. So I didn't study the culture. It was just something that I wanted. So I don't feel like people have to study a culture or the culture for them to have locks. Because some people, like, it's locks. It's the way you want to grow your hair. You may just look at it and you may just, you just want it. So I feel like that's what's happening. And a lot of people are getting on white people simply because they like it. You know what I mean? It ain't no deep thing behind it. They just like locks. They're not trying to steal a culture. I've even seen people say, when they see white people with locks, oh, we can't have nothing. And I'm just like, what do you mean we can't have it? Like, nobody's stopping you from growing your hair like the way you want to grow your hair. Like you can grow your hair. It's like, it has nothing to do with white people. Like, they're not taking it from you. Nobody can't take this from you. So, but that's how people feel. That's how people view it. You know what I mean? And that's how they're looking at non-black people with locks. And I don't look at it that way. I don't care. I don't care enough to look at it that way. Again, cultural appropriation it exists. It's a thing. But once you just start saying it out of nowhere, then, you know what I mean? So it just loses its luster. It loses its actual meaning. So that's what I wanted to say in this video. Please, if you disagree or agree, let me know in the comment section. And as usual, thanks for watching this video.